Hi, this is Dylan with the Art of Chainmail. I'm testing out my new Hero Cam for silver, and I noticed the other day somebody was asking on one of the message boards about an easy way to start this pattern here, which is known as Ormlank, which means worm link, or sometimes 4 1/2 Persian, or maybe even more commonly 4 1/2 Persian. You can see that it has a rectangular cross section. The even numbers of the half Persians all have that. So this is 4 and 1, 6 and 1, 8 and 1 if you were really daring would have a rectangular cross section. And the odd numbers, so 3 and 1, 5 and 1, 7 and 1, all have a trapezoid cross section. It lays nice and flat, makes very nice bracelets, can do a very nice necklace or choker with it. Historical pattern related to the Vikings, and you might see it used in modern times on the straps that go around the neck of the Busby hats that the beefeaters that guard Buckingham Palace wear. Anyhow, hopefully I'm going to show you 3 easy ways to make this pattern today. I'm going to use some shower curtain rings here. This is what I like to do when I do chain demonstrations for folks, and it brings it up nice and personal so you can see how to start things. Now the first way we're going to do it is the easiest way to make the Ormlank or the 4 1/2 Persian. You take a ring, you put it through 2 other rings. It's a pattern that scales, so there's a minimum size that you can make it at aspect ratio wise. These are 16 gauge 5/16 rings, and that's about as small as you're going to get with the pattern in 16 gauge, but you could go up to 7/16, and you just end up with a sort of a broader, more loose version of the same pattern. Take 3 rings, you put 1 ring through 2 rings. Now I use 2 colors here. That makes it really easy to see what you're doing in this pattern, because basically there's rings that lean one way and rings that lean the other way in the weave, so it's easy to distinguish the 2 types of rings. So when you're making this for the first time, I suggest something like steel and bronze, or if you're really fancy, silver and gold fill. You can also use anodized aluminum in 2 colors, or you can use steel and neoprene if you want to make a stretchy bracelet. One thing about that is you need a special technique for starting it, so I'm going to show you 3 easy methods for starting today here, hopefully, and the last one will be for neoprene. Anyways, this is first method, 1 ring through 2. The most important thing is that you're going to put these 2 rings over top of each other to create a little space between them. I'm going to hold it here. Holding on to your rings when you're starting out is the most important thing. You don't want to drop them. So if you use some plasticine or some sticky tack, or even a clothespin, or maybe even a twist tie, or something to help hold your rings, that can be very useful when you're starting out. So anyways, what you're doing is you're making a hole right there to put your ring through. I'm going to take another silver ring here, and the main thing to remember with this, these guys stack on top of each other, so the white ones are always going to be on top of each other, and when I add a silver ring, it's always going to be away from me. So I'm going to put that on there. Boom. Now to put in the next white ring, I'm going to use the same gap that I created to put the silver ring through in the silver rings for the white ring. Does that make sense? So you can see here's the gap where they overlap. Open the ring, put it through. There we go. See, it's easy to lose track of it, so hold it down. Anyways, you're going to put on your next silver one, goes in the same hole there. Put on your next white one. Another open white one here. That one. And then just keep going until you've got yourself a nice length of Ormlank chain. Okay, well, that's all fine and good, but that's the slow way to weave it, 1 ring at a time. You want to be able to, if it's possible, speed weave a pattern. And what that means is that you can add both open and closed links at the same time. So the next method is going to be for how to add all of your white rings as closed rings. So if you're making out of steel and bronze, you'd open all your steel rings to begin with, and you close all your bronze rings to begin with. Anyways, the main difference in starting out is your first ring is going to go through 3 rings this time. Yeah, now it's a 3-ring circus, I know, right? So, same deal. These guys are going to stack on top of each other. White guys are going to stack. And the silver ones are going to go away from us. But here's the trick. Because you have this extra ring on, you're not just going through the hole here, but you got to make sure the ring passes through that hole. So what I like to do is take the open ring, put it through that one first, and then bring it back. You can see how floppy it gets, but I'm tracking my hole here. There we go. By hole, I mean gap between the rings. I guess I should be a little bit more explicit about that. And also, before you close this ring, you add on your already closed ring. And there's your speed method, like you've improved your overall weaving performance. Okay, same thing this time. Adding a silver ring. It's going to go through here on the outside. And the shower rings catch, so that's part of my sort of fussing around here. Pull it up through. Drop another white ring on. Oops. Close your silver ring. And just go. Boom. No problem. There's your speed weaving method. This is fast as it's going to get. Okay, so for the fourth method, take apart my rings again. The fourth method is going to be what you would use if you were starting with neoprene rings. Neoprene rings are different, of course, because they're pre-closed. So there's no circumstance where you can open them up. So if you're going to put them into the pattern, it has to be in a position where they can be put together with other closed rings. What this essentially means for our arm length pattern is that now you got one going through 4, because you got to remember it's a 4-in-1 pattern. So every one ring is going to go through 4 other rings. Okay, so what does that mean? What it means is this ring here, you're not going to put any rings through for what you're adding, because you're adding your 4th ring. This one solely exists so when you bring the pattern back around into a continuous chain, you have a place to attach your final silver ring to. Anyhow, that one hangs out of the way. You take your 3, and it's the same deal as when you were speed weaving it originally. You're going to take your silver ring. It's got an account to go through that one. It comes back up through the gap in those 2, and in this case you'll be throwing on a neoprene ring. Now here's the gap in the pattern. It's the same thing. Look, this one can even have a neoprene ring on it in the first place. If you're clever enough to keep track of things, then you can add new rings to the pattern just like that, and that's nice fast speed weaving, and boom. Now here's the other trick about, like, this is my bonus hint for folks that just, like, it's a real frustrating thing. The hardest thing is to start a chain pattern. Continuing the pattern is usually pretty straightforward. I mean, yeah, you can make mistakes, but for the most part, you're just repeating the same thing over and over again. So if there's a mistake in the pattern, it'll show up really quickly, and you go, oh, okay, I can see where I went wrong. And instead of knitting it, you're tinking it, you're working backwards to fix the problem. But it's still easy to spot the spot issues like that. So starting out's the hardest thing. So what do you do to not have to go through the process every time you start a new chain? Like for me, pattern like full Persian, I still have trouble starting it sometimes after all these years. So what do? Well, you make yourself a start. And what that basically is just a short piece of the chain that you always use to start off of. So imagine that I've just made this all out of stainless steel for myself. This is a little length chain. And look, in fact, here I have a start for an arm length pattern. You make yourself a start, and this is your treasure for having completed and started the pattern and figuring it out for yourself. Because from now on, when you start the pattern, you just add pattern and then break it apart here. I usually add 5 or 6 bronze or copper soft rings, and then I begin the piece that I'm making. And then when I'm done the piece, I just break it apart, keep the start. Sometimes you can put a key ring on it or something like that to keep them all sorted out. Keep the start. Always start off of it. Save yourself a whole bunch of trouble. Anyways, if you want to learn more about arm length, such as like how to join the pattern into a continuous piece, I can't really illustrate that very well with these these rings. Like I don't have enough shower curtain rings to bring it back around properly. But if you want to learn more, visit theartofchainmail.com, and that's where you can get my tutorial on the arm length pattern, and that includes how to make it into a continuous band, all the 3 starting methods that I've shown you today, and also how to add a jewelry clasp to it. So say you want to do something like this, so you can make it into a little adjustable band or something like that for a bracelet or a necklace or a choker or whatever. Easy method for doing that, and you get that as part of my Art of Chainmail bundle with my Art of Chainmail tutorials. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I honestly hope that helps simplify making the arm length pattern. If it didn't, if I just confused you more, then drop me a line and I'll see if I can figure out something else for showing you how to get this bad boy done. Anyways, peace out. Hi, this is Dylan with the Art of Chainmail. I just wanted to take a second to thank you for watching my video. This is the very first time I've done an instructional video here on YouTube, so I'd like to hear what you think. If you'd like to see more, then I've posted a video up here, which is my official unboxing for my herochain.com print all over chain tee. And down here, I'll have a link for the Art of Chainmail bundle that you can get from artofchainmail.com if you'd like to learn more about chainmail. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you guys, so drop me a line, let me know what you'd like to see, and chain on.
By the power of chain skill,
I have the tutorials! Chainman!